Put the thing down. Inside.
I got it.
What?
That's what.
Just a while. I don't know. Appreciate it, sir.
That's what.
Let's keep going. All right, let's clap it up. I'd like to start the class off with saying, Shalom Israel, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabbarakatah, all the brothers, Yahweh Shemor Alatham, Bashim Yahweh Shalom, all the sisters. I'm priest and officer of 500 Uraga Board, and this is the Tuesday night Brotherhood class here in Northern California, man. All right, before we start the class, I'd like to read what the ISUPK is about. The ISUPK, we are educating so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians about their true heritage, which is comprised of the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. Once our people begin to follow the laws in the Bible, God, or Yahweh in the Hebrew, will look down from heaven and have mercy on us. He will also send Christ to free us of our oppression. Using the Bible, the ISUPK will fix all the problems of the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community, turning a lawless and immoral people into a law-abiding righteous people. The true nationalities of the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and West Indians of the North, Central, and South America are the true descendants of the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew, is their king, man.
That's right.
All right. So tonight's topic or tonight's class is titled "Someone Has to Do the Work," man. And it's vital for us to understand that. Whether you living and you working as slaves, sit right in that chair, son. Whether you working as slave, regular 9 to 5, or you going to school, if you got homework, you got to do that work. If you a mom and you at home taking care of your family, you have a duty, you have work to do in that household. And if you're a man and taking care of his family, whether it be at a slave again or just at the house, you have work to do, man. And someone has to do it. With that, we're going to get Matthew chapter 5, verse 16, sir.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
Here in the ISUPK, we let our light shine bright. We out here doing the work. We representing Yahweh. We representing our King, Yahweh Shai. And we going to the people, letting them know who he is. So our light can shine. If you at work, another translation will be making sure you're doing what you got to do.
Right.
Making sure the job gets done. No coward, no excuses.
That's right.
All right. And here in the ISUPK, we let our light shine and we build ourselves off of no coward, no excuses. All right. Whether it be teaching food or whether it be giving out food, teaching classes, going to camp. No excuses. With that, let's drop that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58, sir. Again, the name of the title of the class is Someone Has to Do the Work. Get there, Israel. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast.
Be ye what?
Steadfast.
He said, be ye steadfast, man. That means be ye firm, unwavering. Go ahead, sir.
God. Unmovable.
Unmovable.
Always abounding in the work of Yahweh. Slakia. of the work of the Most High. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Most High.
So in the Lord, the work we do is not unnoticed. He noticed everything we do. And you really should be trying to do, you should be willing to do this work without the notice. With just the feeling and with the knowledge in your head, knowing that you saving your people from destruction, knowing that you bringing your people up in a way that they need to be brought up, giving them understanding and guidance. Those things don't go unnoticed. And the Most High is the only person you should be worried about noticing you and the things you do. All right? Let's drop that. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11.
Ephesians 4:11.
Yes, sir.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 11. And he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers.
So he gave all of them something. All of them have a duty to the Most High. All of them have a job. And they can't turn away from that job. They have to commit themselves to that job.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I may. Let's go into verse 12 too.
Verse 12?
Yes, sir.
Come. The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 12. For the perfecting of the saints.
He gave them all of them have a job. And who was it for?
The saints.
For the saints. What is the saints? The saints are you, black man, Hispanic man, and Native man. The saints are the Israelites. All of these men with titles, not meaning riches in the world, but with titles under Yahweh, was sent here for you to get you in line with where you need to be. Go ahead.
For the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ.
For the edifying of the body of Christ, man. You know what that is? That's the ISUPK since 1969, man.
Right.
We out here pushing that truth, making sure our people understand who they are according to the Bible. It was times where, man, I never knew that Christ was a black man. I've been a Christian all my life before I came to the truth. And I'm going to tell you, they never told me Christ was a black man.
Right.
And that's the edifying of the body, man. Letting you know that you are that special people. You should feel entitled to this book. You should be honored to be an Israelite. If you're a brother out here, you should put on your boots and you should be out here in all black, getting a part of this school and raising up this kingdom. If you're a sister, you should be honored to have a man that's in this school. You should be willing to obey him, knowing that this man is a prophet of the Lord and will not steer you wrong.
Right.
All right. So with that, let's drop that. Let's go to Revelations chapter 1 and verse 1, sir.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
So this is letting us know, man, that John had received this information. He's seen it himself, but he also received the information from the angel. So like what? Salaki Israel. Salaki. So let's go over and stop again, sir. Salaki.
Verse 1 again.
Yes, sir.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
So the word revelation means to reveal. And it said that he came to reveal through John to his servants of things that must come to pass, man. And that's what we do here in the ISUPK. We are here and sent to let you know of the things that shall come to pass and the things that have been. All right? We let you know that Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives are the chosen people. We let you know that our king will come back in a chariot with 144, and he's not coming to just sit around and sing Kumbaya. You know what I mean? We need brothers to understand that we all have a job, whether it be young men, troopers, officers, and captains, man. We all have a job, all right? Somebody has to do the work. And that's why John presented that to us and wrote Revelations to let us know that this work is yet still needing to be done.
Right.
Let's go through verse 2, sir.
God. Book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 2. Who bear record of the word of God and the testimony of Jesus Christ and of all things that he saw.
So John bear record, meaning he recorded this. And in order to bear record of something, you have to be present and see it. And John was there. John recorded these things and saw these things with his own eyes, man. And this is the importance of us as Israel to understand our roles and our positions, man. Because they might tell you that this book is old. And this happened years and years ago. But if it wasn't for the internet and the TV today, you wouldn't even believe it was a Michael Jordan. You know, if I tell you it was a Steph Curry and you weren't able to go to YouTube and see it if you never saw him, you would be like, man, yeah, right, man. Ain't nobody shooting that ball from half court.
Right.
You know what I mean? But patience is given to the saints, man. And this is our book, Black, Hispanics, and Natives. And we have to follow it and do the work. All right? With that, let's drop that. You got something?
What you bring out is so heavy, right? You know, because like you said, people won't believe it unless they see it. Right? And like you brought out earlier, this book is old, but it's our book.
Right.
And it's prophesying about everything that's going to happen in the last days. And the beautiful thing about it, when you taught this book properly, everything that this book is talking about is actually on TV.
Right.
You know, they hunt our steps. That's in the scripture.
Right.
They hunt our steps. You can go on TV and see your brothers and sisters being killed every day. It's difficult for us to go on our streets and live our lives, or as Jamaican brothers say, go your way.
Right.
You understand? Christ said there will be wars and rumors of wars. Look at TV and see it. It's right there in front of you. But we have been brainwashed to believe that this book is not our book, that this book is not real, when this book is vividly telling you how to live your life and how to prepare for the kingdom.
Yeah, right, man. That's heavy, sir. That's heavy. That's heavy, man. That's heavy. And you know what? And that's a heavy point. You know, because it even mentioned in the Bible that there would be 3 woes. Right? And it said the first woe they seen it, but the other 2 is coming soon thereafter.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's heavy.
It's like, if I may,
Yes,
they were on TV.
exactly. God.
So believe it.
They ain't right, so it was like that's heavy. With that, man, let's drop that. Let's go to Revelation chapter 1, verse 13. Come sit down. I said come sit down. I'm not talking to you about nothing else. Come sit down.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the path with a golden girdle. Verse 14. And his head and his hairs were white like wool.
Now this book is old, but it's telling you his hair and his hairs were white like wool. We got people walking this planet when their hairs on their hairs is white like wool, man. I mean, yeah, their hairs were like white like unto wool, man. Who are those people? Those are you, black man. That's you. That's man. You get that afro combed out, man. Look, that's your hair. Looks like wool.
Right.
Go ahead.
God. As white as snow.
As white as snow, man. Our hair get gray, but you ain't gonna lose that woolly texture.
Right.
Go ahead.
God. And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
And his eyes as a flame of fire, man. Christ was passionate about his people, man. And when you get angry about something and you see what we see on TV that's happening to brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? There's nothing new under the sun. I'm sure the same things was happening to brothers and sisters back then,
Right.
and they seen it, and that will make anybody angry if you really care about your people.
Yeah, right.
No. Go ahead, sir. Salah.
God. Verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass.
His feet like unto fine brass. Now, brass is brass is the same color as brown. Go ahead.
God. As if they burned in a furnace.
Now, if you put some brass in the furnace, it's only gonna get darker, but it's gonna be a dark brown. That's what we are here in America. We are dark brown with hair like wool. All right, go ahead, sir.
God. And his voice as the sound of many waters.
And his voice was loud. When you speaking with authority and you mean something, yeah, you get loud and you start to speak firm. And even to my son, when I tell him something and he don't want to listen, and I get in his face and start talking to him, he'll break down and he'll start crying. And he'll say, "Why are you yelling at me?" And I'm not yelling, but I'm speaking passionately to him to get him to understand what I'm saying. Like, sit down. All right. So we speak passionately. When you're passionate about something, it sounds like you're yelling, but you're not yelling. You just mean what you say. All right. With that, we're going to drop that. Let's go to Matthew chapter 25, verse 35.
God.
Yeah.
And real quick while the other one's pulling that, we do the work. The work has to be done. We feed our people. We clothe our people. These are things that was said in the Bible. These are things that's done in the Bible. If you claim to be an Israelite and you're not doing the things that's in this Bible, man, look, sit down. Step to the side, man. Ain't no half stepping when it comes to doing this work and being in this truth.
Right.
All right, you got that, sir?
God. Book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 35. For I was an hungered, and he gave me meat. I was thirsty, and he gave me drink. I was a stranger, and he took me in.
And he took me in. So look at that. The UPK. Let's start with the top though. For I was hungry. For I was in hunger. Man, we out every weekend. Shout out to the brother Karani Al out here in the northern coast, Northern Cali, man. That brother is the head of the food drive, and he's pushing this mission because he know our people is hungry. All right. And then it said, and yet he gave me meat. We out there on a grill in front of our people, serving them up. All right, let's continue. I was thirsty and he gave me drink. Man, we have waters out there for people. You know what I mean? We out here passing out sandwiches to homeless, man. The work has to be done. I told you to say that. It don't stop with what you did. It's all about what you're doing.
Right.
To help your people, man. Lead your people. It's a lot. I was a stranger and he took me in, man. Look, he said he was a stranger and you took him in. But I didn't know none of these awesome brothers in this truth before I got into school. I didn't know none of them, man. But they took me in like a brother, man. They showed me how to be a man. I learned things from these brothers in this school that I ain't learned from nobody outside of it.
Right.
And the water to you brothers for teaching me, man, to the Adonai and the water to y'all, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I clap that up myself, man. And it's not just for brothers. If sisters out there watching, it goes for sisters too. You come in this school, sisters are supposed to teach you how to operate in this school, how to be a woman, how to be a lady, how to conduct yourself. You know what I mean? Don't let nothing feel like you have too much of it where you can't conduct yourself in a way that's glorious in the sight of the Lord, man. All right? So with that, what are we at 35? Let's go to 36 too, so it's a lot.
Verse 36. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me.
Now we got prison programs where we go to brothers that's in prison. You know, the Muslims, Islam is blowing up fast. But the real reason why Islam is blowing up fast in prisons is because brothers in there are scared, don't want to get jumped on, and they're just trying to find somebody they can come together with. They know Christianity ain't. Christianity is soft. At least the Muslims will give you a little bit more firmness. You feel like you join the Nation of Islam, man. You're like, can't nobody touch me in here. They ain't gonna let you touch me. You go to the Christian, you go to a church inside the jail, man, you're liable to be a victim and die in that pulpit, on that pulpit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not surprising to us why the Muslim religion is growing. But the truth is, that's why we have a prison program. And brothers is excelling in that program. We changing brothers' lives through that program, man, because the work has to be done.
Right.
All right? With that, let's drop that. Let's go to Matthew chapter 6, verse 21. Sit down, son. That's the last time I'm going to tell you.
Six
21, sir. Sit down.
Put that down. Put it down. Put it down. Come here. The book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
Man, look, man, where your treasures are, your heart will be there, man. It's not going to change. You know, where your treasures are is where your heart is. My heart is in this school, man. My heart is doing the work, man. My heart is following orders, listening to the man above me, figuring out how I can be the best man according to the Lord, the best husband according to the Lord, the best father according to the Lord. That's where my treasures are, man. And if you anytime you invest in your time and giving yourself to something, that's where your treasures are, man. And that's where your heart is as well. All right? You got anything on that, Adawan? These Christian pastors put such a stain on doing the work of the Lord, man. It's disgusting, man. All they want to do is take from people. All they care about is that church and offerings. So you know where their heart is? Their heart is in that offering. You know where our heart is? It's doing the work of the Lord. Because every week we come out, we'll prophesy to the wind, man. You know what I mean? We go out and a lot of brothers in this school come out of their own pocket to make sure Israel is taken care of. We don't go out and look for handouts from the Uncle Sam. No, we get it done ourselves. Why? Because the work has to be done. All right, so let's drop that. Let's go to Mark chapter 10, verse 21. No.
The book of Mark, chapter 10, verse 21. And Jesus, beholding him, loved him, and said unto him, one thing thou lackest, go thy way, sell whatever thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven. And come, take up the cross and follow me.
So Jesus was telling this man, look, all you got to do is sell what you got, give to the poor. That's doing the work. That's taking care of your people, man. And he said, then come bear your cross and follow me. And then bearing your cross is meaning then come do this work and stay steadfast in it, man.
Right.
Don't waver from it. It might seem like it's gonna get hard. Any challenges you facing, you deal with those challenges. That's bearing your cross, not running from your challenges, man. Brothers who left the school, they just couldn't bear that cross, man. But brothers that's in the school have an understanding of what it means to bear that cross. Go ahead, young man.
Like people who left the school, nobody did that. Like Shimmy R.
Shema. That's it.
No, it was like Shimmy R. He left the ISUPK for no reason. Like the ISUPK, we serve Jesus, and like we serve the brothers who did it. And now that you said that, I'm thinking about like they was inappropriate for moving out the ISUPK.
Okay, most high in Christ. I'm glad you feel that way, but this truth is dedication. All right? And you can never pass judgment on your brothers because they always will be your brothers. You understand that? All right? And you always remember that brother, and if you ever see that brother, you acknowledge that brother as a brother. You understand me? All right? We never put our people down. We only lift our people up. You understand? All right. But you know, this work is not hard, but it can be if you're not dedicated. You're not in the right mind state. Might not. Anything can happen to change people. You know what I mean? I know brothers that lost people in this truth, and it fell off. You know, and Lord willing, you can imagine the worst thing happening to you, and you will get weak. You know what I mean? But you got to understand that you have a job here to do, and you got to stick to it. All right? The work has to be done, man. All right? Shalom. I see your question. I'm going to try to get to you today. If I can't, Baba Kashab, tap in on Thursday when Adawan Kasarfakad is doing scripture breakdown, and he will be able to answer your question. But I'm going to see if I can get to it for you. All right, let's go to.
Like if I may.
Come on, sir. Go ahead.
I'll bring out the quick precept folks we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
It's in the book of 2 Timothy. Book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verses 4 and 5. Let me make sure I got it right. If I may.
Yes, sir.
Book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, starting with verse 4. No man that warreth entangle himself with the affairs of this life,
Right.
that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. Verse 5. And if a man also strive for masteries, yet he is not crowned, except he strive lawfully.
Right.
You know, so basically, brothers get entangled in the affairs of this world. You know, and you know, we understand as priests and prophets because the world is always tugging at us, right? So we know what the battle is, that struggle fighting the world. It's sometimes easy in your warfare. Sometimes it gets a little bit more difficult. But them brothers and sisters, at some point, it got a little bit more difficult. And unfortunately, they did not lean on the brotherhood. They did not lean on the sisterhood, you know. We get caught up in taking care of our wives, taking care of our families, our kids, our brothers, our sisters, right? Yeah, we're continually supposed to be a brother to them, but if they don't call us, if they don't lean on us for brotherhood, we have no idea what they're going through.
Right.
You know, and that's what happens. We entangle ourselves with the affairs of this world, and unfortunately, it's like it. That's why our brothers and sisters need this truth.
Yeah, right. The most high Christ. That was so eloquently explained and put out there, man. That's real talk, man. And brotherhood is a weapon.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And without brotherhood, it wouldn't be a school.
Right.
You know, Commander General Yohana had the most brotherhood in the world to uphold this school down by himself like that.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So with that, man, we go drop that. We gonna go to let's go to Matthew chapter 13, verse 22, sir.
The book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 22. He also that received seed among the thorns. The book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 22. He also that received seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful.
Man, that's heavy right there. And what's the hearing of the word? I mean, he heard that truth. You know what I mean? That's why it's important for us to do these classes every day. That's why it's important for us to get to camp and get in these kids' lives, man, and bring them into class even when they don't want to listen. You know what I mean? But watch the classes in front of them when they want to watch something on YouTube. Put Commander Junior Yohana class on for these kids, because when they hear the truth, it leads them in a way that they need to go, man. And they see it in example. Why? Because the work has to be done. If we don't teach our kids this truth, we'll have kids growing up the way they have been growing up in these past few years, man. Leaning on rap artists to think that that's the way of life. You know what I mean? Thinking that to look at half of these brothers don't even know what it means to look at a woman in the proper way. You know what I mean? They all look at them in just a lustful way, man. You know what I mean? Where brothers in this truth, we appreciate our women and our sisters, man. You know what I mean? And this is why the work has to be done, man. All right. Let's continue to 23, sir.
But he that receives seed unto the good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit, and bringeth forth some an 100-fold, some 60, some 30.
So when you hear this, that's a UPK for sure. You know what I mean? When you hear this word, it's gonna bring forth fruit if it's good fruit, if it's good word. And this good word has, man, look, the truth has been presented so eloquently by Commander General Yohana that even those brothers who couldn't stand in this school went and created Israelite groups for themselves because they knew this word was true. You know what I mean? And the brothers that did come in this school is bringing brothers by the numbers. And that remind you know, like I used to hear the Adawan, turn around, sit down. I used to hear the Adawan Karak say a lot, like, man, you know, man, I never would thought that I'd see this many brothers in this school. Sit down and turn around. Turn around. Thank you. Don't do that. You see so many brothers in this school, man. It's beautiful. And if it's good fruit, you might not, you know, we know what we saying is the truth. And it might not bring 15 people in every week we go to camp. But just to get that one brother in is good fruit. You know what I mean? I'll take one good brother who can stand in there and be firm in here that's coming and really want to serve the Lord. Then I'll take 15 other brothers who just want to come in because they like wearing fringes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're going to drop that. You got anything on that, sir?
No.
We're going to drop that. Let's go to Luke chapter 12, verse 22.
The book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 22. And he said unto his disciples, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, neither for the body, what ye shall put on.
And the Lord said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about your life, man. Don't worry about what you're going to eat or what you're going to wear. Do this work. This work has to be done. And when you're doing this work, guess what? The Lord is going to look out for you. That's a big burden off of your shoulders right there. Because stand fast in this truth. You're going to still go through your challenges, but stand in this truth, man. Because the Lord is going to always make a way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead, sir.
Verse 23. The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment.
Man, look, the life is more than just eating. You know what I mean? And the body is more than just having clothes to put on it. Go ahead.
Verse 24. Consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which neither have a storehouse nor barn, and God feedeth them. How much more are ye better than the fowls?
Man, look, he said the birds, they have no good quality in this world. They can't help brothers. They can't teach the truth. They can't do the work. But even the Lord take care of them. You know what I mean? How much better are you compared to some ravens?
Right.
You know what I mean? Continue.
Verse 25. And which of you would take and which of you with taking thought can add to his stature one cubit?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Verse 26. And ye then be not able to do that which is least, why take ye thought for the rest?
Man, look at that, man. This is telling you, like, don't think about any challenges that's related that you feel is a challenge in this truth, man. Don't think about, I can't do this. Man, if a brother give me an order, you're right. Man, I need you to do this. Kind out of one kind. You know what I mean? That's it and that's all. I'm not going to think about if I can do it, if I can't do it. Kind out of one kind.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead, sir.
Verse 27. Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not. They spin not. And yet I say unto you, that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these.
Look, man, Solomon had everything. You know, brothers, that just imagine this. A rapper with all his jewelry on. Man, you'd be like, that brother look good. He's shining over there. Man, the Lord said, look, the lilies is better than shining harder than Solomon.
Right.
And they don't have anything. They just grow. They just do what lilies do. They don't have any special thing. They just do it. And the Lord makes sure that they look good. Man, the same thing will happen for you, man.
Right.
Brothers getting this truth, man. Listen, man, you start looking good, man. You turn around, you got ribs. You know what I mean?
Right.
You come in this truth, man. You got, not only that, you got kids who look up to you. You know what I mean? And every way that you can find a way to do the work, you come in here and you looking good, man, doing it. You got something on that, sir? Verse, where we at? Verse 28? We'll go through 31, sir.
Verse 28. The book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 28. And then God so clothed the grass, which is today in the field, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith?
Man, you gotta have the faith when you're doing this work, man. That's why we go to brothers in the world. We tell them, man, look, man, listen, get into this truth, man. You're gonna change your life, man. And we ain't telling you to get in this truth and everything gonna be peaches and cream. Oh, man. But you still gonna go through them battles. But guess what? The special thing about being in this body and doing the work is you got brothers there with you.
Right.
Doing the work with you, man. You be in this world, you in the streets, man, you by yourself. You think little Ray got your back, man, he trying to set you up.
Right.
You coming to school, you got a home, you got brotherhood, man. All right. Continue, sir.
Verse 29. And seek not ye what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. Verse 30. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and the Father knoweth that ye have need of these things.
Man, look, the Lord said, these nations out here, they go after these things. They hunger for it. They kill and and do wickedness. Christian pastors lie to people, taking their money. You know what I mean? But the Lord said he knows that you have need of all these things. And he's going to provide those things, man. You got to have faith when you're doing this work. You got to have faith in this world, man. All right? Because if his work without faith is dead, man. You know what I mean? Let's drop that, sir. Let's go to Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17, sir.
Lamentations
Chapter 4, verse 17.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4. Ready?
Yes, sir.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. In our watches, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
We look a way out through all these other nations, man, instead of looking to the Most High for a way out. We think that so like casting a vote every 4 years, picking a president is going to help you get out of your condition and out of the state you're in.
Right.
We think voting for a mayor or a governor, even going to these Christian pastors thinking that they're going to get you out of what the situation you're in. That's not going to happen, man. Here in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohanan, we know the only way we're going to get out of this hell that we're in is through our King Yahweh, man. Right. Through our King Yahweh and through our Lord Yahweh, man. That's the only way. We're not going to get out of this putting our faith in man.
Right.
All right. Let's drop that. Let's go to Salakia. Let's go to Luke chapter 6, verse 23. Go back to Luke. And don't think doing this work is just like, oh, all you're doing is the work. No, it's a reward for doing this work. And that's what people got to understand, man. If you a sister, a brother, it's a reward doing this work, man. And it's a righteous reward. Luke chapter 6, verse 23.
The book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 23. Rejoice ye in that day, and leap for joy. For behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. For in like manner did their fathers unto the prophets.
All right. So we have a reward that's going to be in our heaven. Our heaven will be our kingdom. It's not when you die. You will be yet alive, Lord willing. And you're going to get your reward when you're sitting at the top of the pyramid. When you have favor of the Most High, man. That's going to be your reward, man. But it can't be one person trying to do this work. Right. It's going to take all of Israel. All of us are going to have to come in. All of us are going to have to get in the line and do this work, man. Play a part in it, man. All right. You got anything you want to add to that, sir? Okay. Let's go through 25.
Verse 24. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation.
Then he said, destruction to you that are rich, because you received your reward. You know what I mean? You received your reward. Because how can you then be rich and your people out here starving? Them Christian pastors, Creflo Dollar and T.D. Jakes, all them brothers have received their reward. They received it. All right, let's continue.
Verse 25. Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep.
Man, woe unto you that's full, man, and don't go feed these brothers and sisters out here. Those of you that mock our King and make symbols and laugh at the fact that he was on a cross and how he suffered on that cross. Says, woe unto you, man. Laugh now because you will weep. What did it say? Salakia. Because Laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep. This is where the terminology came out of laugh now, cry later. It came out of this book. And all y'all brothers that's out there that's twisting the most high words and mocking our King Yahushua, you will have weeping and mourning, man.
Right.
All right, let's drop that if I may, sir. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 5, verse 12. And you know that the thing is, to understand that we in this truth is to understand that we will be subject to the same treatment that our King was subjected to. And that's why you see blacks, Hispanics, and natives suffering to this day in the same manner that some of the greatest men in this book have perished, have been unalived. In the same manner that they have been unalived, it's the same thing our people is going through and suffering with today. Got that, sir?
God. The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 12. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
And they did the same thing to the prophets. They persecuted them. And they still stand fast. You know why? Because the work has to be done. The work has to be done. And that's where the men here in the ISUPK come into to talk, come into view. That's the importance of the UPK. Sisterhood. This goes for the sisters too. The work has to be done, sisters.
Right.
Y'all have to show these other sisters that's coming in how they need to be, how they need to conduct themselves, the importance of being a woman of God. All right? And let me see, I think I got one more, sir.
It's like, if I may,
Come.
in that verse, verse 12,
Yes, sir.
Christ is talking to the priests and prophets. He's talking to the disciples.
Right.
You know, in Christianity, they want to apply this to them. They're not in the body of Christ. They're not even doing the work that Christ said to do. They're not even keeping the law. You know, they want to apply this to them, and this only applies to the men in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge doing the work to build the kingdom. Right? It says, rejoice and be exceedingly glad. So those are some powerful words.
Right.
Be exceedingly glad.
Right.
You know, you saying this to a brother in the world who's watching his people suffer. You're saying this to brothers in the world who are trying to build a kingdom, and they, for lack of a better term, see dead people everywhere they go.
Right.
You understand? So he's saying, be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. You know, I know what you go through, brother. I know what you go through day in and day out carrying this message. You know, carrying the gospel that Christ died for the northern and the southern kingdom for us to do the work, the same thing that he did to bring these kingdoms back together. So these 144,000 will be sealed. You know, that is a tall order to do the work that you do day in and day out to build this kingdom. You know, and from the outside looking in, even from our own experiences, you get tired sometimes. You understand where sometimes it looks like there is no end, there is no rest, right? But Christ is saying, nigga, be exceedingly glad.
Right.
That's like a commandment.
Right. Exactly.
Nigga, I know it's hard, I know it's rough. I know you see your people going through it. But be exceedingly glad.
Right.
You got something coming.
Right. Man, that's heavy, sir. That's heavy, man. It says about what you see all this destruction and craziness, man, rejoice in it.
Right.
You know, and like you said, be exceeding. A lot of people don't really understand what that exceedingly glad means.
Right.
That ain't meaning just, I'm happy. No, you need to, you so happy you crying.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to be overwhelmingly excited for what you see, because you know that the kingdom will be coming.
Right.
You know what I mean? Is that it? I think that might be it. I kind of, had a quick breakdown today, but I think that'll probably be it. Let's do one more. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. That's in the Apocrypha, chapter 2, verse 42. And we're gonna go through 47, and then we're gonna wrap it up on that one. Sit down. Don't ask me for that. You're not doing what I asked you to do, son. So you can't ask me for anything.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, verse 42. I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Sion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs.
Man, so this is Ezra saying, don't take out your mouth. This is Ezra saying this is what he saw, man. He's having a vision here. All right. And just like I said before, it's not just us. We all have to be a part of this.
Right.
Go ahead, sir.
Verse 43. And in the midst of them, there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly.
And this is the reward that you will receive. Now we get into that reward. Go ahead, sir.
Verse 44. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh. Now are they crowned and received palms.
Man, look, this is
Songs like it.
these are the brothers who stayed fast in this truth, who understood that there was work that had to be done, and they did it until they got relieved that they do. Until the Lord came and said, you know what? You're done. You're getting crowned, man. You have seen this through. You have seen this work through. Go ahead, sir.
Verse 46. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Most High.
This is the people that did the work, man. Someone has to do the work. And in doing that work, you will reap that reward. You doing the work in this truth, you already see the reward by how many brothers and sisters are coming into the school.
Right.
You see the reward in it. You see how this Passover is getting more and more and more glorious every year.
Right.
But to see it all the way through is what we have to do as men in this truth, man.
Yeah, I'm right.
To see it through and complete it, man. And with that, that'll be my class for tonight, man. You know what I mean? Shalom, Israel. I'd like to end the class with saying, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat to all the brothers that been watching and the brother in class, the water sir. And Yahweh Shemar Alatham Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shabbat, all the sisters that's watching out there. Shalom, Israel.